Hey YouTubers, it's your old buddy Platt, and today I'm going to be reviewing the Brew Demon Homebrewing Kit. So let's go! If you've been watching this channel for any time now, you know I love kits, homebrew kits. I keep my eye out for them. They're just a great way to learn brewing. They're real simple. Everything comes together, and they're a great way to kind of progress in the brewing world. And so I'm always keeping an eye out for kits. Well, I happened to find this one on eBay. It's called Brew Demon. And a little background, the gentleman that started Brew Demon worked for years and years and years with Mr. Beer, and decided to go out on his own. And once you dig into this kit, you'll see a lot of similarities between this product and Mr. Beer. So let's dig in the kit and see what we got. The first thing you'll notice, and probably the largest difference between Brew Demon and Mr. Beer, is the fermenter that comes in. In Brew Demon, they have the classic conical fermenter. If you've ever been to a brew pub, brewery, wherever, you will see these, obviously a great larger version, but they have the classical conical fermenter. And inside the fermenter, you have your pack of one-step sanitizer, similar to what Mr. Beer has. Then you have the parts for your fermenting unit. You have the base, it'll come in. You have your instructions along with, let's see, we'll give you a little catalog and coupon. And last but not least, you have a can of your hopped malt extract. Again, this looks very similar to Mr. Beer. And under the lid, you have your all-purpose yeast, just like Mr. Beer. Now, one of the differences between Mr. Beer and this is, if you remember Mr. Beer kits, especially the older versions, they came with a bag of powdered malt extract, what they called booster. Well, Brew Demon has their enhancer, and it comes in a easy pull tab can. So that's what we've got to work with. You can buy larger kits that have the plastic bottles in there. I've got enough beer bottles, so I just bought the smaller kit. So we have, what do we have here? Prophecy Ale, American Prophecy Ale. So now that I got everything out, I'm going to assemble everything real quick, and then we'll get started brewing our Prophecy Ale. Alright, so I've got everything put together. I got our fermenter put together. A couple things you'll notice is it has a stick-on thermometer, which is kind of a neat little tool. Make sure you always know what temperature your beer's at. Also, it has a vent plug. This is very similar to an airlock on similar kits, or it's substitute for Mr. Beer. You remember the lead has a vent. Well, this has just a little plug that will raise up or vent out the CO2 once the beer starts fermenting. So I've got this clean and sanitized. I just followed the instructions here. But if you have any questions over homebrew sanitation, you can check out my video on the topic. So once I got this clean and sanitized and all put together, I went ahead and added a gallon of cold water, which I've already got in there. Next, I got my cans of the hot malt extract and the enhancer, and I went ahead and threw them in a bowl of hot water. That's so it's going to be easier for them to pour out. Before I did that, I took out our yeast packet and I set that aside. And next, I got 4 cups of water. So I've got everything set up. I got my tools sanitized, water in the fermenter, cans heating up. Now we're going to go ahead and bring 4 cups of water to a boil. And so let me get this up to a boil, and then when I do, we're going to add the extract. So our water's about to hit a boil, and I went ahead and pulled out our can of hot malt extract from the enhancer. I went ahead and pulled that out of the warm water, and since our water's about to boil, I'm going to go ahead and open can of the extract. Alrighty. And let's see. Yep, we're up to a boil, so I'm going to go ahead and turn this off. The boil is valuable because it helps sanitize, obviously kills anything that's in the water, but then helps sanitize this solution. So we will start with our hopped malt extract. And you want to have your handy spoon with you. Make sure you get every drop of this stuff because this contains a bulk of the fermentable sugars that our yeast are going to need. A little trick I like to use is to take some of this hot water. You want to be careful. Remember, this is boiling water. And swirl around in the can. That will help you get the last few drops of malt extract out. We're going to stir that in. And you want to make sure you turn off the heat because if that malt extract hits the bottom of that while the heat's on, you could accidentally scorch this. So we mix that in. Then we're going to open the can of the enhancer. And basically, this is just a clear liquid consistency of a corn syrup. And in a roundabout way, it's similar to corn syrup. It's just additional fermentable sugars that help the body of the beer and also make sure we hit our intended goal, alcohol goal, which is, in this particular beer, 3.7. If you worked with the Mr. Beer kits, you know that's what you hit with their kits too. Alright. And again, I'm going to take some of that hot liquid. We'll swirl this around to get alrighty. And I'm just going to stir this for another minute or two to make sure everything's blended in, and we'll come back and then add it to our fermenter. So we've got our mixture all stirred together, and now it's time to add it into our fermenter. Now remember, we have 1 gallon of cool water already in there. And we're just going to dump this in. You want to be careful. Don't want to spill this stuff. It's real sticky. Alrighty. You got it all in there. Next, we're going to want to fill up the fermenter up to the 8.5 quart mark. It's notched here in the back. I've got a little extra cool water. Just a little note about water. If your tap water is fine for drinking, no off taste or whatever, then it's fine for brewing. If you do have too hard of water or poor municipal water, then just a regular gallon of spring or a couple of gallons of spring water from your local grocery store will do just fine. And I do want to encourage you to use cold water or cool water. You might want to throw it in the fridge because, oh, we're right at it. Because they'll bring your work down to a proper temperature. We'll actually leave the lid off, and according to my thermometer, right at 82 degrees, which is roughly in the range we want, it'll cool off a little bit more. Make sure I'm at the end, right at the mark. Next, we're going to take our packet of yeast, and we're just going to sprinkle it in. I'm going to use the whole packet. Got it all in there. Now, according to the instructions here, they say you just leave it and it'll be just fine. I like to give it a quick stir for a couple of reasons. A, to make sure we have it thoroughly integrated into our wort. And when you stir, you add oxygen into the wort, and that yeast needs oxygen to grow besides just the sugars it eats. So I'll give that a quick stir. Alright. And add our lid. Now we got that done, we'll go ahead and recap. So just a quick little wrap up. With our Brew Demon kit, we brewed roughly a little over 2 gallons of beer, which will come out to about a case of these 12-ounce bottles. If you buy the bigger kit, they have the 1-quart plastic bottles. Like I said, I got plenty of these, so I'll just use those. The instructions for bottling are included. But if you have any questions about bottling beer, you can check out my video on bottling beers. Kind of talks you through the process. You still have a little bit of your sanitizer left that you'll have to use to sanitize your bottle. Be sure to keep that with you. And we'll leave this in the fermenter for about 7 days or so. That's when it should stop bubbling and everything. Then we'll get ready to bottle, and then you'll leave the bottles out of room temperature for roughly 7 to 10 days. And then after that, they'll be ready to throw in the fridge and ready to drink. So in a little over 2 weeks or so, we'll have about a case of this American Ale from Brew Demon. As far as the system itself, simple, very comparable, like I said, to the Mr. Beer kits. I do like the conical fermenter, probably the main reason why I bought the kit. But we'll see how the beer comes out, and maybe in a future video I'll review the beer. Well, I hope you liked this video, and if you did, please subscribe down below. Also, feel free to like or share the video. If you have any questions, concerns, comments, or ideas for a future video, feel free to contact me on the Twitter page. Well, until next time, bottoms up.